Hey guys, it's me, the Gindu Gamer, and today I'm going to show you some of the most underrated and sometimes plain weird shaders that you haven't heard of. The link to everything you need, Optifine, Iris, Canvas, the shaders, anything you need will be down in the description of the video. Anyways, let's go and get right to the video. Okay guys, the first shader on the list is called Rethinking Voxels. It is an edit of a pretty popular shader called Complementary Reimagined, and the original shader is based on the design goal of a shader with vanilla styling, meaning things like blocky clouds, blocky aurora, blocky, just blocks. Okay, but anyways, the edit pushes the shader a bit further and adds something I've been waiting for in a shader for a long time, and that's using voxels to basically have block light cast realistic shadows. So you can kind of see it already, but if I quickly set it to night, it will become all the more apparent. As you can see, if I walk in out of the path of the block light, you can see it cast shadows. And a place that's really good for seeing this is around plants. Look at that. Isn't that just great? You can see the shadows it casts. And it also has different colors, so you can also see how that changes. And the best thing of all, if I get just some stained glass, you can see that it also interacts with glass in a very cool way. Of course, as it interacts with glass, it becomes dimmer, which is very realistic, but I am glad that is a feature. And it introduced some things that I never really, would normally think about, like the fact that this wouldn't actually cast a light around the tower. Like, I never thought about that before. And just things like that. You can see the shadow around the top of the door. The windows, it's just amazing. And one map I think is really good for showcasing this is Elysium Fire's Cyberpunk Map, because it really allows you to see it in action with the sheer number of lights it has. You can see the stained glass interacting with it, the blocks. This looks very cool. The rays from this building, the redstone torches, shadows interacting with each other. It's just beautiful. Now, it does introduce a bit of a performance hint, especially if you crank the settings like me, but it still runs great, except for on this map, but that's just this map. That's pretty much all there is to it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next shader. Okay guys, the next shader on the list is called Dirt Shaderpack, and it pretty much makes everything dirt. It's like some post-apocalypse, like...
In a world where everything is dirt.
It's worse than I could have ever imagined. People are turning into dirt too.
Dirt zombies.
Yes!
Run, Gentoo, run!
Yeah. Anyways, that's all there is to it. Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes for a more difficult experience, because you can't tell what anything is. Like, you have to tell myself that this is sand, not dirt. Like, in my head, this is definitely dirt. Like, it's so weird. I thought I could walk on that. Like, okay. Okay, let's go and move on to the next shader. Okay guys, the next shader on the list is called the Solas Shader. Its whole gig is color lighting and global illumination with good FPS. I mean, like, really good. I'm getting like 100 FPS. For the most other shaders with those kinds of features, I'd get like, I don't know, 70? Now, it accomplished this through the use of a lot of bloom, which is definitely apparent
just looking around. It's basically like, am I in heaven? Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of bloom. It was definitely not tuned with desert biomes in mind. There's just so many really reflective blocks everywhere, and you can probably tune it down a bit. Now looking at the water is definitely very blue. It's like the kind of picture-perfect water you'd see in some ad for some drink. And it'd have like little water droplets on the bottle or can. You know what I mean, right? But yeah, overall the water looks pretty nice, and underneath you'll see a little bit of casustics show up on the bottom and start raining. Okay, then there. Okay, now that the rain's gone, we can see some nice casustics on the bottom of the water and some nice god rays. And there isn't a whole lot of like fog underneath here, so it's pretty good if you like shaders with high visibility underwater. Okay, now you have my permission to rain. There we go, right away we can see that the rain is definitely less obtrusive than vanilla, which is nice to see. And it looks like it still goes straight up and down instead of at a slight angle, which is okay. Angled rain just looks slightly cooler. There also really isn't enough clouds in the sky. You'd think when it rains there'd be more clouds, but it's literally the same as clear day. And there isn't a whole lot of extra fog, which is understandable due to performance reasons. You won't get, this is not a shader with a lot of fog. And then looking at the rain petals are pretty dang nice, but I'm noticing that especially noticeable on sand. It looks like this on the like dry spots, and I'm not sure why that's happening or if it is intended, but it doesn't look right. And I have the default settings in the latest version, but this is what is happening. Then flipping it over to night, this is the shader really shines. I mean, you can see the stars reflecting from just the amazing picture-perfect skybox. I just love that nighttime skybox. Yeah, this is just great to have. I wish more shaders had their water reflect their skybox like that. That's just beautiful. And then the main attraction for this shader, we got the colored bloom lighting, which we can see around lava, around torches, or with better yet, around the things this shader has added emissive textures to through integrated PBR. We can see purple lighting in around Enderman's eyes, we can see red on spiders, and we can see, like many shaders, you got ores casting a light, but this time it's colored, which is nice to see. And you could turn this on or off, of course, but flowers also have colored lighting, which is, I haven't seen that before, and it looks really beautiful. Of course, it's not very realistic, so if you want to go for realism, turn it off, but it looks cool. That's the only reason you need. It looks cool. Use it. Leave it on. I'm ordering you to leave that setting on. Got it? Okay. Anyways, that's all there is to this shader, so let's go and move on to the next shader.
Okay guys, the next shader on the list is called Chocopic High Performance. It has a low and a toaster version. I am showcasing the low version, and it pretty much is just one of the highest performing shaders out there, because like, you know, normal Chocopic already performs great. This takes you to another level at the cost of, I mean, visuals. What can you do? I mean, I'm getting right now 160 FPS, so a lot of low-end computers should be able to run this with no problem, really. You can't expect much out of it, but you get, you know, shadows, you get a new skybox. Look at that. We got more fog, first of all. You can definitely notice that, and that's already great. The rain looks better. It's not as blue, because, you know, Minecraft rain normally is super blue and ugly, and just much, much better. The nighttime scene is about as expected. It looks pretty good, actually, in my opinion. The sky isn't too bright. The moonlight's pretty bright, but I think it looks okay. It's definitely a low-end shader, but it will improve your graphics over the vanilla game if you don't like them. honestly, for me personally, I don't know. If I still had the low-range computer, this is a difficult one. I think I would stick to vanilla. Just because. Yeah. Anyways, it's all the glowing eyes, though. That you can't get that in vanilla. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyways, let's go and move on to the next shader. Okay, guys, the next shader on the list is called the Technicolor Shaderpack. Not sure what Technicolor means. It's like some joke I'm too young to understand. I think it's something to do with, like, cameras or something. Technology. I don't know. But yeah, it makes your game look like this. Disco. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the point of this is, but if you want this, it exists. Yeah, indeed. I concur. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Okay, let's go and move on to the next shader. Okay, guys, the next shader on the list is called Forget-Me-Not, which is the name of a flower and the name I use for my Minecraft dog, as some of you may know. Pretty much, it runs on Canvas, not Optifine or Ibis. It's a new rendering system and has a few advantages over Optifine. The main one I noticed I'm gonna show you, but it's not perfect. Like, you're gonna notice some bugs, like, just right away, just messing around, but it looks really good so far. Look around during the day, and the sunsets look very beautiful also. But the best thing, and the thing I want to show you, is actually at night. This has something that I don't think Optifine shaders have the ability to do, and that's like handheld light that can cast shadows. So you see near the edge of blocks, facing away from the light source, there will be shadows. Around the plant, you can see against the wall, there is a shadow forming. And just that kind of thing where Optifine simply can't do. Now, this only applies to the handheld light for whatever reason at the moment. So, like, that light isn't blue, it's still yellow, and that's just dimmer, and that's just brighter. The color light and the shadows only apply to handheld lights, which, I mean... Oh well, I guess. Yeah, look, this looks very spooky. Taking a quick look on the water, there's a whole lot of distortion, and it's pretty dang uniform, but it still looks pretty good. It's a little bit too green, I'd say, and it feels more hazy than foggy, if you know what I mean. It's like there's just a haze over the screen. And the water itself looks really nice. I like how there's, like, lines in it. As you can see. Look at these dumb fish. Okay. Then switching over to a rain. I don't see any rain puddles or anything like that. But the clouds look nice and not a little bit repetitive and a bit too dispersed. The rain looks nice, but there's no, like, it's not at an angle, sadly, and I don't see much transparency. Well, I just noticed something. Look how, instead of, like, the fog making this, like, you know, just foggy, it actually just makes it transparent, which actually is kind of a cool effect. I don't know if that's intended, but I think it's cool. It's a bit weird. And not realistic at all, but it's a video game, so it doesn't have to be realistic. It just has to be cool. But, that's all there is. That's like the bulk of what this shader has to offer. It is a good alternative. I'm getting, 90 FPS. Now let's go and move on to the next shader. Okay guys, next shader on the list just could make you a bit nauseous. It's called the Trippy Shaderpack, and it's kind of a combination of some of the shaders I had last video, the one with waves and the one with uneven ground, and then one from today with Technicolor. There's just, if you have your friends play this, it will give them a bad time. And that's pretty much... Oh, look at that. Oh, look, I look evil. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much... That's pretty much it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you all in the next video or stream. Leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions, and bye. Look at that item.